Howdy y'all and happy Monday. Welcome to my Flosstube channel. It's a channel all about cross stitching. Let's not waste any time, let's get right into it. Talk about my progress from last week, and then I'll talk about my plans for next week. So firstly, I want to say I have been stitching like a lunatic. I have been loving stitching. I had a full page finish this week, start and finish. Definitely doing column stitching helped me on my heroes and heroines. I might have to switch back to row stitching for my new start, which I will show you. I made about 1,000 stitches of progress on that, but let's just go ahead and get into it. So I actually joined Enchanted Stitching. It's a challenge group on Facebook that it kind of gives you prompts to stitch every week, and I really like it because it's giving me reasons to like count my stitching, and I also really like counting stitching. I didn't think I would, but it turns out that I like genuinely did. So yeah, I will talk about that. So I used Rapunzel, my Muka Disney Rapunzel by Pinky the Pink on Etsy, and I stitched 500 stitches on her. So I finished connecting the dress. So I finished all this stitching that has from here all the way down to here. I finished all of this one color, that was about 400-ish stitches, and then 100 stitches of this yellow here. So I am going to end up using her for prompt this week, and maybe 2, depending on if I can get, depending on how many stitches that hair is, because I would really prefer to finish this page before moving on to the next one. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, she is looking beautiful. So, of course, the question is, do I backstitch this page? Which I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to backstitch and then come back and bead, because I don't know if you can tell, but there's no beading at the bottom of this. So I think that if I bead this page, I will be fine to push my Q-snap and put it there and not mess with anything. The only thing is that I did do some French knots, but I think they'll be fine. And even if they're not, I'll cut them out and redo them. Those don't take very long. And these aren't the best at French knots. As you can tell, I'm not the best. Her eyes turned out pretty well. Those French knots turned out okay. That one a little better than that one, but I mean, meh, they're okay. You can, from afar, they don't look that bad. I am loving her. She's looking gorgeous. So yeah, I did 500 stitches on her. I did a challenge that was a gift for someone, and then a project that is putting you to sleep, because all that purple, it's 3 different colors, even though it looks pretty much all the same. I think I could have probably gotten away with stitching that all one color, but you know, as I stitch more, it'll probably look different. But yeah, it was fun. It was quick stitching. I think I got it done 500 stitches in like 3 or 4 hours, because it's just put a strand on your needle and fly. But yeah, this is on 32 count linen from Joann's. It's just the white fabric from Joann's. And then I got a whole page finish on my heroes and heroines. So I will show you all of that first. So we've got Daisy and Gatsby down there. Then we've got what I am calling Paris and Helen. I'm not sure who they are, but I'm saying Paris and Helen because I like the Iliad. So we're just gonna say that. The Iliad and the Odyssey. So, and then I finished Romeo and Juliet. Not finished, but I got this whole page. So I stitched, from last week, I had a little bit of this first column done, because usually when I finish a page, I like to go ahead and start, at least put it like 100 stitches in on the next page. So I had a little bit of that done, but I did about 9,000 stitches on this piece this week. Mainly because this part, like this, it was everything but these last 2 columns flew by. These last 2 columns, I pushed myself and got them done. So, how many columns is that? That's, yeah, I did 7.5 columns in 6 days, because I worked on this Monday through Saturday, with also working on Rapunzel on Wednesday. And also was sick Wednesday night and Thursday, so I pushed myself to stitch on it, but not a lot of stitching got done on Thursday because it was like, I had a migraine on Wednesday night. I get really, really bad migraines. They're hormonal, so like I know when they're gonna happen. I get one once a month, and it was really bad, so I just kind of sat down and let it happen. So yeah, didn't get a lot of stitching done on those days, but I mean, a whole page finished, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. But yeah, there they are. They actually look, that was probably, like looking at it, it's probably one of my lesser favorite pages, but I think I will love it in general. I just think I wasn't, like, it looks great on screen, like I like how it looks, and it looks great from afar, but up close it looks, maybe now that I'm not stitching on it, I'll like it better. But when I was stitching on it, I did not like it because it looks like she's got red hair. Like, it looks like she's got this kind of bright, reddy orangish hair. That's all garnet. Like, I was so confused when I was stitching it. I didn't know what it was. And then her dress was a pain to stitch. But I'm loving it. I love my Heaven and Earth designs. I love Amy Stewart patterns. They are my favorite. Probably might be the only designer I ever stitched from Hade. Except for maybe, I have one freebie called In the Springtime. And I really like that because it's kind of that, like, impressionist style that popped up in the, late 19th, early 20th century that I really like. So, I believe that's when it happened. I might be wrong. I don't know. I tried to be all artsy and I was like, oh, I don't know. But the one thing I really do like about this piece is the different kind of art styles. Like, this is just a completely different art style. Like, when you look at the actual picture, like the actual, like, mock-up, it looks almost like this is more painted matte than the other. And also, I want to work on this page down here, but it's going to be a long time before I get to that page, because there's like this little gremlin man. I don't know what he's supposed to be. Like, there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm like, I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to be, but there's a little gremlin man, and maybe when I stitch him up, I'll understand. Maybe it's just like the constant presence watching them. But really, really had fun working on this piece. But I started something new. Something I told myself I wasn't going to start, but I did anyways. I started Heaven and Earth Design, Amy Stewart, charted by Michelle, original artwork done by Amy Stewart, Once Upon a Fairy Tale. So I am starting all the way in the bottom right corner. So I'm going to be working up to the left corner, just because that top looks like a lot of like blue and black stitching, and I just did not want to do that right now. So here I am working right here. This is the mermaid and dock scene. So this whole thing will be, there will be a vendor, and then a bigger shop over here, and then a mermaid, and a man, and a bridge, and a Viking ship. I am very, very excited about that. So yeah, there's my progress. This one, even more than the Romeo and Juliet stitching, looks like nothing up close. I think it's because it's a building, and I think that's just kind of how buildings work out. And also, it's kind of weird because this is the, that's the dock right there, and it is this bright blue, which is kind of strange because even the water's kind of greeny over here. And then this is a ledge, and then this is the kind of dock area, and then this is the shop. But up close, to me it looked like a strange strip of black in the water, and that was water, and then suddenly we have shop up here. But I do think that as I go more, it'll definitely work out. I also want to start down here because I haven't seen anyone stitch this, because starting at the bottom right, most people start at the top, but I might as well, because I started at the top left in this other Hade, and I'm starting in the bottom right. So I think the way that this is going to work is that unless for some reason I am enamored with one or the other piece, I am going to try to stick to one page finish, move on to the other one, except for this first page, because this first page is only like, I think it only works out to be like 3,000 stitches. So I think I'm going to do the first page, and then I'm going to work over here, or I might go up, depending, because this is only a partial page, because if you ever stitched Heaven and Earth Design, you know that the right columns are usually partials, and then the bottom is also a partial, so this is the most partial you can get. So I'm going to finish this, and there's only 3 more columns. So I think I might finish this page out doing column stitching and then move over to row for the next page. So let's talk about my plans really quickly. I'm going to pull up the prompts so that I don't forget them. So for Enchanted Stitching, it actually just came out. So this is subject to change. This might change, but the first prompt in the Enchanted Stitching has to do with stitch something that represents one of the cars from the movie Cars, because that's how this group works. Is every month they pick a movie and you stitch based on prompts from that movie. So this first prompt is about, like I said, stitching on a piece that represents a car. So I think I'm going to do Sally, and I think the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to say that Sally is the love interest of the movie, and she's kind of if there was a Disney princess in that movie, it would be Sally. So I'm going to say that I'm going to stitch on Rapunzel, and I'm going to try to finish out that yellow. See, I might just go ahead and finish it out even if it doesn't fit the prompt, and see if I can maybe fit it in as an extra credit or something somewhere. Or I might do it as a badge challenge. I might do that, because I think that I think there's one that's only 350, so I know for sure that 600 stitches is more than enough of that yellow, and if I can get that page finished, that would be amazing, because I think I can get most of the back stitching in another challenge. So that is the first challenge for Enchanted Stitching. I think that's how I'm going to do that. Or see if there's a yellow car. There might be a yellow car. I'll look them up. I'm not sure. So stitch on a piece that is either European inspired or from a European designer. So I am going to be working on Once Upon a Fairy Tale, because most of the fairy tales in this are European inspired, and since this has a Viking ship, it is Nordic, thus pretty European in my opinion. So I'm going to do another 250 stitches in here. I'll just count the first 250 that I do. That won't even get me to a column finish, so it's really not that much stitching. So stitch on a piece that has taken me in an unexpected direction. I am once again going to be stitching on my Once Upon a Fairy Tale, because I did not plan on starting this. I wanted to keep going on my other one, but just because I've been stitching so much on that one, I was getting tired of the color palette. I was getting tired of that color palette is more reds and browns, which just generally are not my color. I like how it looks, and I'm about to get into a whole bunch of greenery. The next page is almost entirely greenery, and I'm not excited about that, but I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to work on Once Upon a Fairy Tale, so that puts me at 500 stitches for this one, and then stitch on a piece that is so beautiful you immediately fell in love with it. Again, that will be this one, because when I first saw this piece, I first saw it on Gaming Crafty Jamie, I believe, channel, and she's doing it one on Tent Stitch, and it is such a gorgeous pattern. I absolutely adore it. I think the reason that I'm falling in love with this one more than that one, than my Heroes and Heroines currently, is because there are more vignettes, there are smaller pieces, there are more people, there's more things going on. Well, in Hero and Heroines, it's very obviously 12 different characters, or 24 different characters, 12 different couples. So yeah, that is my plan for the Enchanted Stitching. And then I'm also going to do extra credit on this piece, because there is a mermaid in this piece, and she will be over here, which is why I might continue. I think I'm going to continue this way so that maybe I can get to the mermaid to even stitch on that for this challenge. It is a 350 stitches, I believe, on a sea creature or beast, so mermaid is a sea creature. I then, since hopefully I will be able to finish with the 600 stitches, the hair, there is a prompt in the School of Magical Stitches. I'm in Grand Floridian. It is my favorite personal resort. Never stayed in any of the resorts, but I've walked through Grand Floridian and it is gorgeous. So one of the prompts is to work on purple. So I will be working on hopefully backstitching, because the backstitching is all in the 552, I believe, which I'm kind of worried because I'm running really low on that, so I might even have to come over and work down here. We will see, or try to count over. We'll see. I'm a little worried about my floss. I ordered some, but who knows when that'll be here. So this project sadly might have to just kind of go on the back burner for a little while, or I'll probably stitch her skin, because there is a lot of it in this page, but it is 1/1, so it's a little tedious, which means I'll put on a TV show and watch that while I stitch. And then also there is one about minions. So I am going to work on my Once Upon a Fairy Tale because it has a dragon in it, and I would love, if I had a minion, I would have a dragon minion. Because I'm sure most of you don't care, but in the D&D campaign I'm currently running, one of my characters bamboozled me, and they used a wish spell to get a dragon. So they by chance ended up with 2 wish spells, and they used one of them to compel a dragon to be their friend forever. So it's pretty cool. That dragon is pretty OP. And then, oh no, just a second. Let me look it up. It'll just take a second. I'll keep talking. Or I won't, because I can't do 2 things at once. I am really enjoying these. I'm on the wrong page. I'm really, really, really enjoying these Facebook groups because it gives me something to work towards, and I am definitely enjoying the idea of working towards a goal and being able to count and see how many stitches I get done. So, everything for enchanted stitching is 250 stitches. Everything for magical stitching is 300 stitches. So magical stitching will be 1,000 stitches, as will enchanted stitching, because there will be, the purple prompt is only 100 stitches, which is why I think I can get the back stitch in, because it counts as a half stitch. So I only have to do 200 stitches of back stitch to get the full points for that. Oh, and then I'm going to have to do penalty stitches because one of the prompts is about a gingerbread house. And even though fairy tale, I feel like there should be, not really, I don't know if I'd do it if there was a gingerbread house in the pattern, but there is not any gingerbread or any gingerbread fixins in any of the patterns I'm working on. So I am going to do the penalty stitches, which was 450 stitches instead of 300. And then a piece that you feel defines you as a person. So I am going to be working on my fairy tale piece because I am a huge fantasy fan. So I think if I'm working on fantasy and fairy tale that much, I mean, that's at least, 1,500 stitches, which will get me to, I think, a page and a half finish with the partial stitching. So if I do all the challenges this week, I think I might, no, that's not right. That's not even close to right. Never mind. Get rid of all of that. That's like 2 columns. I was thinking of like 15,000. I was like, oh yeah, that's so easy. So I might end up with a page and a half finish, but we will see. This page is taking me a little while because of all the confetti. But I think that's everything I'm doing. This is a bit different, but I'm enjoying it. School's going good. I think I'm kind of getting into the swing of it. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting back into the slog, but it's okay. It's almost over. I think I only have this week and then next week, and then it's finals. So, almost done, which is insane. And then I just have 2 finals, a paper, which I'm kind of getting stressed about because it's supposed to be like a group project, but I'm the only one making decisions, and talking in the group chat, so most likely I'm going to end up just being like, hi, I'm going to write the introduction. Here's the stuff. I'm emailing the teacher and telling him what I did. So I'll probably do like all the research and then write the introduction and be like, okay, good luck, guys. And then email the teacher and be like, they're not talking back to me, which is fine because I understand that we're like in a pandemic, but also it takes 2 seconds and none of them have said anything. And here's the thing, is that I told them, hey, if there's anything going on, let me know. I don't mind picking up the slack. Like, literally all I've been doing is sitting around and stitching and working on homework. That's all I've done. That's my days. So, you know, if I spend an extra hour or two, it only has to be like a 1,000-word paper. No, it's 2,000 words, and there's 5 of us, which means we only each have to work around 400 words. That's it. 400 words takes 30 minutes, for me personally, writing about something I'm, you know, interested in, and the morality of genetic embryonic testing. Yes, of course I'm interested in that. That's an insane topic, and I'm so lucky to work on it. But it only takes an hour, and if everyone would just set aside an hour a week instead of 3 hours for class, I mean, 1 hour a week is nothing, absolutely nothing in comparison. Oh God, why is that one hair so long? Why is that one hair so long? Oh, I see. Sorry, I got distracted. So, rant over. I'm just, don't like group projects. Never been a big fan of them in school, unless I'm working with people that I'm friends with, because then they feel bad if they disappoint me. But random strangers don't feel the same. So yeah, I'm going to once again try to get in contact with them, see what's going on. I'm probably going to work on researching for that, and then send it to them and be like, hi, so since you all aren't doing anything, this is the research, this is what we're using. But yeah, other than that, had a good week. Had fun stitching, had a good time. Okay, I think that's it. Sorry I got on a rant. Obviously, I'm very excited about that. But yeah, so have a great week, y'all. Happy stitching. Stay safe. Stay home if you can, unless you are an essential worker and you are going out there to try to help the world. Please just stay home. It'll make everything go back so much faster, and personally, I am excited to go back to work. I'm excited to go back to a semi-normal life, because I just realized the other day that it's not like, oh, I'm going to go back to school and then I'm going to have summer. It's like, no, I'm going straight into summer, which means that I won't go back to a normal, like, 7-day-a-week schedule until late August next year, which is insane. That's so far away. That's 4 months away. That's a third of the year until I go back to a normal get up and go every day schedule. But yeah, no, it's like, I feel like I want to talk about school, but I know you don't want to hear about school. So I'm going to get off here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me, and happy stitching. Bye, y'all.